Well, there's certainly a lot of excitement in the UK as well as the Commonwealth, not only this weekend, but through this spring. Anticipation building about another royal birth. Prince Harry and Meghan expecting their first baby sometime in the weeks to come. But we do not know much more than that. In fact, the couple has played it very close to the chest, if you will. And to talk about this, we're now reaching out to Christine Ross. She is the editorial director of the blog Meghan's Mirror. She joins us right now in Washington, D.C. So, Christine, hello to you.
Hi, Michael. Thanks for having me on the chat.
Well, listen, I'm glad you're here because you, big fan of Meghan Markle, a perfect person to speak to about this. And already we have heard from the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. They've made it very clear they want to keep the birth of their first child as low-key as possible. But I'm wondering, you know, you're a blogger, you're on the Twitter sphere and on the internet. In this day and age, and considering they are members of the royal family, how likely is it that they're going to be able to keep this all low-key?
You know, I think that they've done the smart thing with saying that they'll let us know when Meghan goes into labor, because I feel like they know it's going to be impossible to keep that a secret. Whether she chooses to go to the hospital or if she's having a home birth, any sort of rushing in and out of Windsor is suddenly going to create a huge frenzy. So I think they're smart to say, okay, we'll let you know when she goes into labor. And between the time she goes into labor and kind of has the baby and you know, announces that to the world, that is a private time, even for parents. Lots of parents will, you know, keep those first few hours before they call grandma and grandpa just to themselves. So I think that they're kind of striking a good balance, saying that, okay, we'll tell you when she goes into labor, and then we'll let you know about the baby when we're ready.
Well, let me pick up on that point, though, because as we say, like, we know that Meghan's due date is in the spring. But last month, this is the statement that we got from Buckingham Palace, and it said the following: Their Royal Highnesses have taken a personal decision to keep the plans around the arrival of their baby private. The Duke and Duchess look forward to sharing the exciting news with everyone once they've had the opportunity to celebrate privately as a new family. And I have to say, that statement had some people speculating on the internet that it could actually be days before the Duchess and the Duke of Sussex actually made public the knowledge that the child was with them. What do you make of that?
Yeah, we had heard some feedback that on that, you know, note as well, where it was like, oh, well, is it going to be days? Is it going to be hours? And I really think that they can't wait too long. You know, you think about, no matter who's there, a midwife might mention it to their husband, who tells their friend, you know, at football practice, whose cousin happens to be a Daily Mail reporter, and then it's everywhere. You know, they really know that they don't have a ton of time to keep this to themselves, because you never know, you know, what sort of comment or what sort of, you know, signal is going to let the world know, oh, actually, you know, this has happened. You know, God forbid, you know, Harry cancels an engagement because the baby's actually here. We're all going to start speculating, and then really the news is out. I think that they have enough experience in their roles. You know, Harry has experience in his role as a royal to know that they can take some time to themselves, but you know, at the end of the day, they can't keep that close for, you know, days or weeks on end. Now,
one thing they can control is a picture of the newborn, because in addition to all that we're hearing, we're also hearing that they're going to break royal tradition here, in that we may not see Meghan and Harry pose with their newborn soon after it is born, something that we've seen in the past. As a fan of Meghan's, does that disappoint you? Because, you know, when you think about royals posing with their babies, we saw that with Catherine and William, with the birth of Prince George, as well as Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis. We certainly saw it with Diana when both William and Harry were born. But again, from Meghan and from Harry, that may not actually be the case. They may not be posing with the newborn. How does that make you feel?
I think that is just, it's wonderful in the sense that that is their personal decision for them and their family. I think it's so important for all women to really make a decision that they're comfortable with. And some women just aren't, you know, feeling up for that sort of thing right after giving birth. Whereas I think, you know, in Catherine's case, that was more her role. And I think she was ready to, okay, let's get this picture over with and get home. Whereas Meghan is sort of saying, okay, I'm going to close the doors of the castle. I'm going to cozy up with my newborn, and this can be more of a private affair. And I think it's, you know, comes down to each mother gets to make her own choice. And I think that it's actually empowering that Meghan got to make her choice, and empowering that Kate made her choice. I expect that we might see a more personal photo from Meghan and Harry, something that's maybe a little bit more snuggled up, with the newborn rather than more posed and professional outside the steps of the hospital. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping that we do see something that has, that personal touch.
Okay, not a lot of time left, but I need to ask you this because traditionally when a baby is born to the royal family, an official announcement is posted in the forecourt of Buckingham Palace. But we also have here a Duchess who is very savvy on social media. Do you think that tradition will change?
Do you know when Prince Louis was born, I believe it was announced on Twitter before it made it to the palace. So I bet we are going to see a more formal announcement on social media, possibly before the easel ends up outside Buckingham Palace. So I think, it's 2019, the times are changing.